Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen, and today we are going to be canning some brandied cherries. This is the first time I have ever made this recipe. We are going to be following the recipe from this Ball Blue Book Guide to Preserving. So we are going to be following that recipe, and I'm going to be water bath canning inside of the Presto digital pressure cooker canner thing. That's my new machine. I just recently got that machine, and we went through, made sure everything worked, did a water test, it all worked good. But one of the neat features about that is not only does it pressure can, but it also water bath cans. So we are going to be doing that today. This morning I woke up early and I got all of my canning equipment out, and I washed all my jars and got everything all cleaned. And then today during my lunch break, I pitted cherries. I don't know if you've ever pitted cherries before, but I don't have like a fancy pitting machine. I used a plastic straw to get the pits out. And let's just say cherries cause like a splash zone. So I had to pretty much cover my whole countertop to prevent the cherry juice from staining my granite. And so that's just something to be aware. And I think my hands are still kind of dyed a little bit from all that cherry juice. And I also decided that I am saving the pits to those cherries because I think I'm going to try and make like a cherry juice out of those pits and a couple of cherries that I have left over. And I am also planning on making some cherry jam, jelly, I don't know, whatever out of it as well. So we're going to be doing 2 canning projects with this one batch of cherries. We're going to be making brandied cherries, and we're also going to make some cherry jam jelly. I really don't know the difference between jam and jelly, but that's what we're going to be doing today. All right, I'm a little bit nervous about I got all the jars cleaned up. You know, they all look like that they're sealed. And from what I read online, even though it leaked while processing, as long as it seals, it should be fine. And the ones that like lose a lot of liquid and there's like food up top, they say that it might just change the color of the top of the food in there. But overall, it is still safe. And I guess something that's kind of peace of mind for me is that these were all water bath canned. And that means no botulism threat in these jars. So if these did not have a good seal, you know, there would be like mold and stuff growing inside, and we would be able to see it and throw it away. So for me, that is peace of mind. I am actually going to a canning class tonight, and I'm going to ask the question from them too to also make sure. But hopefully these are fine, but they look so much prettier now that I've washed the jars. Last night I attended my canning workshop, and I feel a little bit more confident after attending that class. And lucky, I even pressure canned my very first jar of green beans. So that's exciting. But I did get a chance to talk with the instructor. I told them about my mishap with the cherries yesterday, making the brandied cherries. And a couple of things could have been the cause as to why it overfilled in the jars. One reason is I may have screwed the bands on a little too tight. Last night, you know, I kept wanting to tighten the bands, and they told me, they're like, you don't even put your hand around the base of the jar, you just bloop. And I kept wanting to have the urge to like tighten it. So that could have been a reason why, because they said that it's just to hold the lid down, but that sometimes, like, I guess air or something needs to escape from the jar, so that's why you don't want it to be too tight. So that could have been one of the reasons why my jar leaked. The other reason could have been that I did overfill a little bit past the headspace. I put a little bit too much in there. And the other reason could have been just the lids that I used. Those lids, they were like a Pure brand. I'm not too sure. It was just something I had. So I honestly don't even know where I got those jars and lids, but they were a Pure brand. So those are the main reasons why that could have happened. And, you live and learn. But they did say that if it did seal, then there shouldn't be any issues as long as I followed the recipe that was in that ball book. As long as I followed that recipe, then there's no safety concerns. We just have to keep an eye on that seal. So that gave me some peace of mind, and I'm very happy to know that all of those cherries and all that time that went into canning those did not go to waste. Now, if you remember, I saved the pits from the cherries whenever I guess de-pitted them to make the brandied cherries. I saved the pits because my plan is to make a cherry jelly out of them. Now, I did have to go and research what is the difference between jelly, jam, and preserves. Jelly is just like the juice that you use to make for the canning. Jam has little small pieces of the fruit inside of it, and the preserves have bigger chunks of the fruit in the canning. So that is the difference between those three, in case you didn't know, because I surely didn't, so I had to research that. So we are actually going to be making cherry jelly out of those pits. And what I did is I boiled and simmered the pits to extract more juice out of it, to create the juice for the cherry jelly recipe that we're going to be making today. So here you can see I finished boiling them, and so I'm just kind of letting it strain, and I have all that cherry juice on the inside. I got the idea for making the cherry jelly, like to create the cherry juice from the pits. I actually saw Three Rivers Homestead. She made a video the other day how, she was pitting cherries because they were canning cherries. I don't know what for, but she saved the pits so that way she could make cherry jelly. And I just thought that was a neat idea to, just to have zero waste when it comes to preserving. And that's something that I'm trying to embrace a little bit more of, is I think that, we have so much food waste here in the United States. And so just learning how to be a little bit more resourceful and using everything that you have not only helps lower the amount of food waste, but it could also help save money. And to make this cherry jelly, I am actually following the instructions that came inside of the pectin. This is Mrs. Wage's pectin. I've never used this before. This was at my grocery store and it was on sale, so that's why I used this. And so to make the cherry jelly, we need to have 3.5 cups of juice, 1 package of the pectin, 4.5 cups of sugar, and that's going to give us about 5 to 6 cups of, or half pints of the cherry jelly. Now, on here it says that they are using, it's supposed to be sour cherries. The cherries that I have are actually sweet. So I am also going to be adding some lemon juice to this recipe as well. I did not have any leakage. The water was not pink this time, so I think I did it right. That's exciting. They're so pretty. Ooh, it's popping. I hope that you'll follow along as we learn to can and harvest what we grow. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a blessed day, and we'll catch you on the next video.